She steps inside the elevator, presses the buttons. The doors don't close. She walks into the hallway, stops. Then she runs back inside. A moment later, she looks out again, slower this time. There's no one there, but her hands start moving, like she's talking to someone. Her name was Elisa Lam. She was 21 years old. And what you just heard described comes directly from security footage. The last confirmed footage of Elisa Lam alive. This is her story. January 2013. Elisa Lam leaves her home in Vancouver, Canada. A solo trip down the west coast of the United States. A university student, smart, creative, curious about the worlds beyond the routines of everyday life. By January 26th, her journey brought her to Los Angeles. She checked into a hotel already infamous to many who knew the city, the Cecil Hotel. By 2013, the Cecil already carried decades of dark history, including multiple deaths, and a stay by Richard Ramirez, a serial killer during his killing spree in the 1980s. It was the kind of place people talked about long after they left. But for many travelers, it was simply affordable, downtown, convenient, a temporary stop before moving on. For several days, everything appeared normal. She explored the city, visited local attractions, continued checking in with family. Nothing seemed unusual. Nothing suggested she was in danger. Then something changed. The messages stopped. The calls stopped. For her family, that mattered. Elisa had been maintaining regular contact throughout the trip. Missing one message might mean very little, but missing several was different. The silence stretched on. Concern became alarm. On January 31st, 2013, Elisa Lam was reported missing. Police began searching. The hotel was examined. Employees were questioned. The surrounding area was checked. Investigators reviewed the surveillance footage. Flyers were distributed. Tips were followed. Days passed. Nothing. No confirmed sightings. No indication she had safely left the city. No clear explanation for where she had gone. Then investigators discovered something. Security footage from the inside of one of the hotel's elevators. Elisa enters, presses multiple buttons, waits. The doors refuse to close. She steps out, looks into the hallway, returns, then begins making unusual gestures with her hands. The footage lasts only a few minutes, but those few minutes would become some of the most analyzed footage in internet history. On February 14th, the LAPD released the video publicly. The goal was simple: generate leads, identify anyone who might know where she had gone, and find Elisa. But what happened next was something very different. Within days, the footage was everywhere. News broadcasts, forums, social media. Millions of people who had never heard of Elisa Lam suddenly found themselves watching the same few minutes of video. Online communities formed almost overnight, examining every moment, every gesture, every second. Some viewers became convinced she was hiding from someone. Others believed someone was standing just outside the camera's view. Some argued the footage had been edited. Others believed the hotel itself had secrets investigators weren't revealing. And then the theories became even stranger. Paranormal explanations, ghost stories, conspiracies. The mystery seemed to grow larger every day. The internet had transformed a missing persons case into something else entirely. A puzzle, a phenomenon, a story people felt compelled to solve. But while millions debated theories, one fact remained unchanged. Elisa Lam was still missing. For nearly 2 weeks, the speculation continued. The video spread further, the theories multiplied, the mystery deepened. And all the while, investigators continued searching. Then something happened inside the hotel. Guests began complaining about the water, low pressure, an unusual color, a strange taste. Maintenance was called to inspect the rooftop water tanks supplying the building. A worker made his way to the roof, approached one of the tanks, then opened the hatch. Inside was Elisa Lam. The date was February 19th. The search was over. The mystery, however, was only beginning. Investigators examined the evidence. They searched for signs of assault. They searched for evidence linking another person to her death. According to the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner Coroner, Elisa Lam's death was ruled an accidental drowning. Bipolar disorder was listed as a significant contributing factor. Toxicology results suggested she had not been consistently taking prescribed medication. The coroner's office and LAPD concluded there was no evidence of foul play. The official conclusion pointed toward a mental health crisis, one that unfolded alone, far from home, far from family, far from anyone who might have recognized what was happening. That's where the investigation ended. But that's not where the story ended. Because once the case was officially closed, the fascination only grew. Years afterward, people continued looking at the footage. New videos appeared. New theories emerged. Documentaries were produced. Entire communities formed around the belief that some critical piece of the story had been missed. That there had to be another explanation, a hidden answer, something investigators never found. And in a way, that may be the strangest part of all. Because the more attention the mystery received, the further the conversation seemed to move from Elisa herself, the student, the traveler, the daughter, the young woman who had set out to see the world. Instead, she became an internet mystery, a symbol, a puzzle, a collection of theories. A real person became overshadowed by the mystery surrounding her. But if you go back and look at the dates, she went missing on January 31st. The elevator footage was released on February 14th, and Elisa wasn't discovered until February 19th. Which means that for 5 days, while millions of people around the world were watching her final moments, pausing them, replaying them, searching every frame for answers, she was already there, above them, above the investigators, above the guests, above the millions of people searching for her. Sometimes the most unsettling mysteries aren't the ones with no answers. They're the ones where the answer was there all along. And nobody saw it. I'm Justin Luther, and these are the Karma Case Files.